Okay, so in our previous session, we created some security groups, right? And created EFS file system and launched an EC2 instance as well, right? So today we will be connecting to our RHEL instance that we created using the PuTTY, right? Before we connect, we need to start our instance. So are you on the management console?
Yes.
Dharma, please let me know when you are there.
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect. So you can go to EC2, right? So this is EC2 dashboard, right? Where should I go? Please tell me.
Instance all states.
Instances. Okay.
Instance all states. All states.
Select.
Launch instance.
Okay. So so far there is no public IP, right?
So we have to connect.
Start.
Okay. Instance state.
Start
Then
instance.
we need to start the instance.
Yes.
Then stop the state. Once we start, this public IP will get assigned. You see, some private IP or something, it is visible here. Some private DNS name is visible here. No public IP is here. Public IP for DNS name also not there. No elastic IP is there, right? So once we start the instance, one public IP from the Amazon's pool of public IPs will be assigned to this particular instance, right? And then there will be one name as well assigned.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. So we will start the instance and the public IP will be assigned. So just click on start instance, right?
Yeah.
So successfully started. And you can just refresh, you can see that it's in pending state, right? So far no public IP has been assigned, so it's coming up, right? So now it says instance state is running, and you see public IP is also assigned, correct? Yeah. So there is one public IP assigned and one public DNS name also got assigned, right?
Yes.
So we will connect to this particular public IP. As of now, you see status checks is nothing, normal only. So it is
It's
initial.
already 2x2 checks for me.
Okay, perfect.
For me 2x2, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So now what you can do, you have the PEM file already. PEM file, correct? So what we have to do, as we were discussing in the last session, we should have that. Where is that PEM file? I had kept somewhere.
Can order by date modified.
Here it is. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
13th December it says. So Red Hat Linux KP December, this one. So this is what is the PEM file, right? So what we need to do, we need to convert it to what? Which format?
HTML format.
No, PPK format. PuTTY private key. We'll be using with the PuTTY, right? We want to use this with PuTTY. So when you try to open this PuTTY, right, we'll have some option here to add that PEM file. So as of now, like we don't have that PPK file. So what we will do, we'll use this PuTTY zen.exe. Just double click this PuTTY key generator.
Yeah.
Actually, the main purpose of this one is to generate a public-private key pair, right? But we are not going to use this tool for generating a key pair. Why? Because we already have a key pair, correct?
Yes.
So we already have a key pair, right,
Load.
for which we are having the private key and public key is stored in EC2 instance. Okay.
Okay.
So we have the private key and public key is stored in EC2 instance. Now from our system, right, using our private key, we will be able to connect to our instance in AWS. So what we are going to do, we are going to use this tool for converting that PEM file into PPK format. Okay, so
Yeah.
that PEM file used to be traditional kind of file. Initially, it was used for it. The name itself is privacy enhanced mail, right? So this PuTTY doesn't understand that. So we have to convert that PEM into PPK. Okay, PuTTY private key. So how to do that?
Load.
Okay, so load an existing private key, right? We are not generating.
Yeah.
Then we are loading some existing private key file. Now we click on load, right? So now we go to some desktop. There we see workspace. I think here only I kept. So there is no PPK file.
All files.
We have to do all files. Then our PEM is visible, right? So we just load that. Just double click that.
Yeah.
This successfully imported foreign key OpenSSH SSH-2 private key old PEM format. You see?
Yeah. Yes.
To use this key with PuTTY, you need to use save private key command to save it in PuTTY's own format. So what we need to do next, it is suggesting.
Okay. Yeah, we have to save it in private key.
We have to save private key, right? So just say okay and just look at other options. You have option for passphrase also. So if you want to add some passphrase, so you can add some additional passphrase apart from that key, right? It will also ask for some password additional apart from key. You can skip this, right?
Yep.
You just want key based authentication, so no need of that password. So we can for our you want to make it more secure, you want to secure your key also, so you can put that passphrase. But for our practical purposes, we are skipping that passphrase. Now you have option RSA, DSA, like that. You have different type of key options.
Yeah.
We go with this RSA and number of bits in generator key 2048 is okay for us. Now which button we will click?
Save private key.
Save private key. Dharma, you are here? Hello, please confirm.
Yeah, yes, yes,
Yeah.
Harish. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm doing.
Yeah, so just click on save private key. Are you sure you want to save this key without a passphrase to protect it?
Yes.
Say yes. Now it is asking for the place where you want to store that, right? What name you want to give? You give something relevant name.
Red Hat.
Okay. Something like this, but not that PEM.
Yeah.
Similar to that, but here it will be saved as PPK. Right? So what is the full form here? PuTTY private key. PPK, PuTTY private key. Now it just says save, right? And then we're good. That is done. This PuTTY key job, this is done. We close it. Now, what is needed from our machine? We want to connect to this our EC2 instance. I just refresh it. 2 of 2 checks passed here. So what we are having, the public IP, right? So we can connect from our system, from our laptop to this particular public IP, right? So we just need to copy. You see here, copy, this button is there, right? So using this, you can copy, you can select and copy. right? Or you can copy this public name. So this is also resolvable. So if you just take this, right, this also will work. You can just copy using this button. So you can copy and you can connect. So simply click anywhere. You just select that public
Yeah.
IPv4 address. It is copied, and then what we do? We just go here. We open putty.exe. Okay. So here we will put that IP address, right? And what is the port for SSH? 22. What is the protocol? SSH, right? So we have the option here. Right? Now you might be seeing here default setting only for you. For me, something else is also. Now you have some options right here to load the keys. Can you find it out? You see here auth, connection, SSH,
Authentication.
and auth. Correct?
Yeah.
Under that auth, you see private key file for authentication. This is
Yes.
what we have created, correct?
Yes.
The PPK file.
Yeah.
Garba, please confirm. You're here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm there.
Okay, perfect. So please click on this browse and then just browse to that path where you have your PPK, right? Just choose that PPK file. Just double click. It is chosen here, right?
Yeah.
Now you can see like a lot of other options will be there. You see here window. So control the scroll back in the window, lines of scroll back. How many lines you can scroll back while you are typing your commands and all, how many lines you can scroll back? So 2000 lines. So if I type some commands and all those things, something, so I may not be able to browse more. So I'll put some bigger number here. So these many lines I can scroll in my putty window. Right. So I just increased my this window thing. Appearance you can just look at. You can change the size. Here it is like font is regular 10. I can make it 12. Right. I can just say okay. I can change. You can change this font and all. So it's all features available in this putty. You see somewhere it is data. Here auto login username also there. Right. So if you know the username, you can simply put that username here. Automatically it will connect to that username. So I'll just show you all this. You go to this session, right? In this session you have your IP address. So you want to save this session for now, right? So what you can do here, you can simply say Red Hat hyphen some DEC, some whatever name you wish, you can just put it. So with this name, you just type some name with your IP address is also there for now, and then you have that key and everything is there. You just click on save. Once you click on save, what happens? That comes as your profile. Hi Dharma. Okay. It's very slow at Dharma's place. So yeah, Dharma, please take your time, right? And just put that IP. So most important thing here is not all these things. The most important thing is just going to this auth, right? And putting your PPK here.
Yeah.
This is the most important part, right? And then
Session.
public IP. Public IP. Whatever is your public IP, right? In that here, EC2 public IP from your machine you want to connect to. So that public IP you should put here. That's it. That public IP you can put, and then the key you can put. That's it. That is two most important thing here, right? I'm just saving it. So for this particular session, at least until my public IP changes, right? I will have this particular session, and anyways, key is going to remain. So whenever I come next time, so that time I will select this and I will say load. So that key and this IP and my font size and whatever features that will get loaded automatically. Every time I don't have to do all those things, just I have to change the public IP. If my system goes down, my EC2 instance is shut down, then public IP will change, right? So whenever I come, when public IP changes, I just have to change the public IP. Remaining things are same, right? So with all these settings, right, I just say here
Open.
open. Now it is asking what is security alert. The server's host key this.
For me, it didn't ask. That's okay, right?
Okay, it didn't ask, right? So what happened here? It is asking some username.
It's a blank, like Q only, it's blank.
It's not asking like this login as.
No.
Okay, so you know why?
Alert, I think network error, connection timed out. I got some error.
Correct. So do you know why it is happening? For me, I will just put username here, EC2-user, right? And I press enter. So what happens? I got the command prompt.
Yes.
Right? I just say sudo su dash and I become root here, root user. So for me, I was able to connect to my instance,
Yeah.
right? But for you, it didn't connect.
Yeah.
Why? Here you select your EC2 instance, go there.
Yes, I did.
Go to security.
Security, okay.
Go to security group.
Okay.
Here you have inbound rule, right? What is the IP?
Okay. My inbound rule is something different with type. Okay. So I can see yours is SSH. Mine is NFS.
So that means you have associated wrong security group with your instance. We had created some 2 security groups, right?
Yes.
So instead of attaching the security group that we created for our Linux instance, instead of that, you created what? You added that NFS one.
Yeah.
NFS security group you have connected here. So what you can do?
I have to change.
Yeah. What is the name here shown?
1 second. Okay.
NFS DECSG, right? Something like that. Correct? Security group name.
Elastic file system is showing.
Yeah. So you have selected that elastic file system thing, right?
Yeah.
So what you can do here, you have the security groups. Yeah. So whatever is the security group, say like you have that elastic file system, Red Hat Linux security group or something.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Security. Okay. Why it is not showing? Inbound rules. Okay. Let me go to security groups. Okay. So I went to security groups.
Just go to security group. There you will find a lot of security groups, right?
Yes.
So Windows security group or elastic file system, Red Hat Linux, right?
Yeah.
So whatever is the relevant security group, say like you just
Red Hat Linux.
Red Hat Linux, right? So just validate when it was which one is the relevant one. Then you just select that, right? So for example, this Linux SG or something, right?
Yeah.
So you have the option, right, to attach, detach, like that. No, so at any point of time, you should have some security group attached to your EC2 instance, right?
Yes.
So in this EC2 instance, in security, you have this security group, right? Here, inbound rule, something like that. It is attached. So you should not have this particular security group. You should change that security group, right?
Yes.
So you go to that security group, whatever security group you had created. How did you go? You can go
down
from here also. Right?
Yes.
You can go. Right? So here, Red Hat Linux security group, Red Hat -ds. So action, view details, edit inbound rule, edit outbound rule, manage tags. So all those things. Delete security group, copy to new security group, right?
Yes.
So you have all these options.
Yes.
So you can add that rule, whatever rule you are having, right?
Yes.
That SSH. You can
Yes.
allow SSH and you can use that one, right? One
Yes.
option is that.
Yes.
Another thing is like, you can, so for now, I think you can add that one, right?
Yeah.
And you have the other security group also, right?
Yes, I have Elastic File System Security Group and Red Hat Linux setting. Both I have.
Okay. So let me see. You have, what you have done is the security group you have done, right? Now, where is the option? Go to EC2, go to instances, select this. Okay, so we should have some option. We can
Inbound,
attach,
edit inbound.
so we can attach that another
Yeah.
security group.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We have to click in the security
Hello.
group. Yeah, Dharma.
Yeah, Dharma.
So actually, it was last, I think, 5 minutes, more than 5 minutes.
Okay. So we are here where Natraj got some issue, right? Because he has selected the wrong security group
For EC2 instance. I mean,
for EC2 instance actually,
yeah.
right? So now up to what you are like, you have created that PK and you opened that putty.exe, right?
Yeah, I was there, but I copied the website address and then, chosen this PPK file and then try to open it. Then
Okay.
immediately it's disconnected. Yeah.
Okay. So for you also there is security group issue.
Okay. So where we need to change?
So for you also validate where is the problem. So you just go. So you can have different types of issues related to security groups. So you just go and choose your Linux instance. Just go to that instance.
Yeah.
And you just choose that, go to security tab and you see what is there here.
Yeah, security groups is there. Yeah. Inbound rule, right? Okay.
So what is the name here?
It means where security group name, right? That is Red Hat security group. That is SSH security group. Yeah.
Okay. So for him, Natras, it's correct one, right?
Yeah.
So if it is correct one, then what you do? You just click on that. Now you see what is the inbound rule?
Sorry.
That Dharma.
Yeah, its inbound rule is type is SSH, protocol TCP 22. So some IP number is there. Allow me only. Yeah.
That IP address. What is the IP address? Source.
That is 106.208.107.180/32.
180 ending in 180, right?
Yeah, 180/32. Yes.
Okay. So just see that 180 it is ending in, right? Now you remember last time we were discussing about troubleshooting, right? So just click on that edit inbound rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now just delete that IP.
For me, I have to change type also, right?
Yeah, for you, I'll just come back. So
Yeah.
for Dharma, it is like straightforward. So just close that. Come here. Choose my IP. See, it is coming different. In place of that 180, something else is coming now.
It's 210.
Yeah. So your public IP changed. Understood? Understood? Your public IP changed. That was given by your ISP, right? That it changed. Yeah. So now you click on save rules. If I click on save rules, for me it says you have not made any changes. But for you it will change.
Yeah, for me it shows now 210.
Correct. So now your public IP, whatever was the public IP earlier, that was not allowed. Correct? So now that is allowed. Now you can use it. Now you try
Connect,
to
right?
connect. Yeah. Now you
So for
try with this.
connectivity, we have to take the EC2 IP address, right?
Correct. So you go to EC2, you go to instance. Here you select.
IP for address.
This. Here you have the public IP.
Okay, let me try.
Yeah.
And every time I need to choose that authentication file, right?
That auth file you can save. I'll just disconnect and I'll show you. See what you can do here. You can go to this connection SSH.
Yeah.
You go to auth. Now here choose it.
Yeah, user supplied.
Choose
You have to
that
choose user
choose
supplied.
PPK.
No. Wait, yeah.
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 Choose an PPK.
Yes.
Okay. Now you come back. Come to this session.
Oh, save session. Okay.
No, come to session. Put the IP
Yes.
address. Give some name
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
Give some name. Save.
Yeah.
So once you have saved, right? So it will come here below in the list.
Yes.
Okay. Now you can simply connect on open. Next time when you come, you can just load it. So if your public this IP of your instance changes, right? So that time you can simply change that one. You can load and then change. Now you say open. Tell me what is coming.
It's asking login as.
Yeah. So in login as you put EC2-user.
It's a default user, is it?
Yeah, that is the default user for our Red Hat.
Okay, but we haven't created, right?
We have not created. See what happens, we installed our machine, right? That time by default it got created because that is we have chosen some AMI, right? Red Hat AMI. From that AMI, from that particular template, our machine got created. Correct?
Yeah, I think it's logged in now. Yeah. It's not asking password, so maybe it used the private.
Correct.
It says authentication with public key, but it's a private key, right?
See, ours is a private key, but what happens that instead of that password, what happens? We are using the key pair. So there will be two keys, one private and one public, right? So public key is kept here in this machine. Okay, public key will be kept here in this machine. You do ls-la. So you will have this .ssh, right? So .ssh ls-la. So you'll have this authorized keys, right? So just do this cat authorized keys. So this is the public key. See here, name.
Okay.
Got it? So this is the public key. And for the same thing, we have the private key.
Yeah, we download and generate and then we used it for connectivity.
Correct. So we have the private key with us. Using the private key, right? Private key is something not to be shared with anybody. And public key is something which can be kept on any machine. You can put this public key only in some 10 machines, and using the same private key, you can connect to all these machines. Okay. But now what we are going to do, we are going to do troubleshooting for Natras. So Natras, is it okay to share the system?
No, now I'm able to connect. I just changed the inbound role from NFS to SSH and IP, my IP. So it got a new IP. So I just saved it. So I'm able to log in PuTTY now. So
good.
Yeah, EC2 user I just entered. After that, authenticating with public key imported open SSH key.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
After-
now, now what you could, so now what you will have to do is you will be using the same security group for your NFS as well as for your Linux thing, right?
Yeah.
So apart from that, what we could do, so what we wanted to check is how you can change that, how you can change that. So in the instance tab, you should have some option here.
Okay.
So in that somewhere here, right? So we should have that option. You have security, right?
Yeah.
So ideally we should go here, and here we should use this option.
But Harish, whatever I have done, is it a right practice or it's a bad practice?
So what you have done is like, you should have different firewalls, right? Actually, because this is just a workaround, small workaround that for now you are able to connect, correct?
Yes. Yes.
But the purpose initially what we decided that we will have one security group for our EFS and another security group we will have for our EC2 instance, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
ideally what happens is, for each thing we will have some kind of different security groups, right? Because the rules might be different.
Yes.
Sometimes it may happen that you have two EC2 instances and you want to connect from your machine only, right? You have 100 EC2 instances and you want to connect from your laptop to all those machines, right? And there is no other condition and all. So you can use same security group for all those 100 instances, right?
Yes.
Like that. So depends
Got
on
it.
the situation. But here in our case, it's like kind of for NFS, you just want to allow NFS in the inbound. You don't want to allow port 22, right?
Yes.
Now for your EC2 instance, you want to allow port 22, but not NFS port, right?
Correct. Correct.
So it is like, the ideal thing would be, right? You can go to this instance, right? Then try to find out, just select it, just try to go to that action menu.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, still you can change it, doesn't matter. Go to this action menu. Now you go down,
security.
go to this security, because this is security related, right?
Yeah.
So you go to this security, click on change security group.
Okay. Yeah.
So here it should give you, so it says instance details. This is the instance detail associated security group. So it says Red Hat this security group is attached. Here for you it will show Elastic File System.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Remove that.
Okay.
Now you just look for another security. Just click here.
Okay.
Here you have that Red Hat one, right?
Yes.
Choose that, right? Choose that one. So here you will get the option add security group, right?
Yes.
So you just add that security group. For me, it is good. So it's like this. Then you save it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you again go to these instances.
Yeah.
Go to security.
Okay.
Which security group is shown here?
Just a second. Okay. Red Hat.
Perfect. So now click here.
Yeah.
You will have some inbound rules.
Yes.
Click on that edit inbound rule.
Yeah, it is coming SSH.
SSH, and then what is the IP ending? Just tell me the last one.
157.45.183.3/32.
.3 and something, right? So now you cross it.
Okay.
Now you just choose my IP.
Yeah.
It's coming the same or different?
Different. 36/32.
So your public IP has already changed, right?
Yeah.
From your ISP side. So now your source has changed. So if you allow the right source, then only they will allow, right?
Yes.
So now you click on the save rules, right? So it will say you have made the changes, right? So
yes.
Now you just go and go to that EC2 instance, right? Running instance. Here you just select it, and then you go to details tab, copy that public IP.
Yes, copied.
Copied. Now you go to your putty.
Okay.
Here.
So whatever old one, whatever I have opened, that I have to close, right?
Yeah, that putty, whatever connection you are having, that window and all, you just close it. Simply close it,
Okay.
right? And then you just come to this particular putty configuration window. Here,
Yeah.
you go to, already did you load that? Any profile is there?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so now you just load that profile. Just select it, click on load.
But
Now
IP I have to give.
Yeah, so now you change that IP.
Yeah, I have changed.
After changing, you click on save one more time.
Okay.
Okay, so now you saved, your new IP also got saved.
Okay.
Now you click on open.
Yeah.
So
Login
when you
as.
click on open, it will ask EC2-user. Just put like that, the username.
Yeah, done.
Click and then it will connect you.
Something I got error. Let me see once again. Okay.
Just see the spelling EC2-user you have to put.
EC2-user. Yeah, I did, but no supported authentication methods.
So that means your PPK is not loaded. Okay. So come back to this putty.exe one more time.
Okay.
Click on that whatever
correct.
Red Hat or something. Load it.
Yes, I load it.
Now you go to connection. Go to SSH.
Yes.
Now you go to this auth. Select that auth. Do you have anything here?
Yeah, I have loaded.
You have PPK?
Yeah.
Okay. So
you can load again.
now come load and then load it. Loaded, right?
Yes.
No, wait. Now what happens is, if whatever is saved, right? If in your profile that key is not saved earlier,
Yes.
and then if you click on load, that key will be removed.
Okay.
Understood?
Yeah.
So for the very first time, when you are just adding this key, you have to save it.
Save it. Okay.
Once it is saved in your profile, then only if you load, then it will come here.
Okay. Yeah.
Now you come to auth and see if that key is there.
Yes, it is there.
It is there, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now you have some IP address here.
Yeah.
Click on open. Is it asking username?
Yes.
Mention EC2-user.
Yeah, successfully now.
Perfect. So once you are logged in like that, right? So what happens? You can open multiple terminals based on your requirement. See here, what happens as soon as you logged in, so you will be like EC2-user @ some IP address, right?
Yes.
Now, what is happening? So what I was explaining, so you have that. I'll just close this window. Anyway, so now you have this particular window here, and I was just showing that this is the home directory. When you came here, so this is your home directory. If you just say pwd, this is your home directory, home/uc2-user. So this is a Linux machine. It will work like that, right? Yeah. Now, if you say ls-la, that means it will, whatever hidden thing is there, with starting with a dot, that also it will show you. This A option is for seeing the hidden file. So this .ssh is a hidden file here. By default, if you say ls-l or something, it will not show you anything. ls also nothing is there, right? But when you do ls-la, then it will show you that. So this .ssh is the directory where your key is stored. So if you just do cd to .ssh, if you do ls, authorized keys is the file. Just cat that file. So you will see that this is the public key that is kept there. So using your private key, and then another part of that key is this public key. So both are checked. That private key will be validated against this public key. So if it is matching, right, then it will authentication will happen. Now you can just sudo to just say sudo su dash, just like this you say. And you say you'll become root. Here the username changes to root, right? So with this sudo, right, you are switching to root. Now you are becoming root. Directly you are not logging as root due to security reasons. What is happening now? Using that sudo su dash, you are switching to root. So this is better security. Okay, now you become root here and you are able to connect to the instance. So let's see what is the next thing. Connect to RHEL instance using PuTTY and now host your website inside EC2. So the next topic is to host your website inside EC2. You remember we had hosted our website
Yes.
Using that
Bucket.
Yeah. So static website we had hosted.
Yes.
So Dharma, please confirm you are on this root prompt.
Oh, I need to go to root, sudo root, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not working. I got it.
Okay, so you just do sudo root and then what we
Sir,
are going to
actually,
do
I
here?
have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell me, you connected to root?
What is
Yes.
support? I got support.
Yeah, just sudo to root. You see now your home directory changes to /root. Okay.
Yeah.
Dharma, please confirm.
Yeah, 1 minute, sir. My PuTTY
Yeah.
is different. I don't know why.
No problem. You just connect. Maybe some network glitch whenever it is there. You just try to connect. Meanwhile, we'll fix that another security group for Natraz. So Natraz,
Yeah.
go to security group.
Okay.
Now you have that elastic file system security group, right?
Security group. Yes.
Go to that.
Okay.
Now what is the rule here?
1 second. Okay. Okay. Let me speak that. SSH I have.
NFS is not there.
Yeah, not there because I have changed directly, right?
Okay, so you had changed that NFS to SSH.
Yes.
Now you just remove this, edit.
Yeah.
Delete this.
Yeah.
Now, after
Add
deleting,
rule.
you just add rule and then put NFS.
NFS.
And then you come here, you choose custom.
Custom. Okay.
Now you just click here and choose that security group.
Yeah.
Which
SSH.
one?
Red Hat, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Save. Add rule. Okay. Save it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Harish. I have done it.
No problem. So now you have the correct security group there.
Yeah.
So that security group should be attached to that NFS, then it will be working fine. Now, what we will do? Yeah, Dharma, please confirm you are there at the root prompt.
Yes, sir. I am at the root. Yeah.
Perfect. So for here, in order to run the web service, right, we want our website.
But for me, it says root at IP address, that IP address. Then again, it says EC2-user still.
Is it?
Root at IP, that IP number is showing, and then immediately EC2-user, like that it shows.
Just do PWD.
Home EC2-user. Oh my God! Still, it's not moving.
No. What you do is just do Control D.
Control D. Okay.
Yeah. Now you say ID.
ID. Okay. It's EC2-user.
Okay. Now you do up arrow. One more time you do up arrow. What is written there? Any difference? Did you put that hyphen?
Dharma, we cannot hear you. I think we lost this audio.
Yeah. You did like this. What you did? If you do only like this, then it will ask for password. You don't know the root password, you cannot log in. Using sudo words only, you are allowed. You cannot directly switch.
Sudo, sir, what to do it actually? Sudo?
sudo space su space
You have
hyphen.
to be, once you log in, right? So you will be like this. Is it like that now?
Yeah.
Now you put sudo su dash. Press enter.
Yeah, then now it's root. Yeah, when we specify root, then it's not going. I think when we just give only su hyphen, I think it's going. Yeah.
Oh, so what you had done? You had done like this and then root.
Yeah.
Okay, on AIX machine looks like you might have worked. So that also works here. That is optional.
Yeah, but here it's not working.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Now in root actually, root directory.
Okay, perfect. So what we do is sudo su dash. That much enough. Means it will switch to root. Now that you are in root, so what we are going to do, we are going to run our website, right? So for our website, we should have some kind of web service running, right? So we should have some Apache web service running. So for our Apache, HTTPD is the package. There will be some RPM here in Linux machine, right? So the RPM which is there for running that Apache web service, that is HTTPD. And in order to install that, we have to say yum. Yum is the installer for installing some package in Linux. You can go on mute. So this is like the installer, the RPM installer, right? So it will install the package.
Yeah.
That yum. So now you say yum install HTTPD. So this is the package. Okay. So just press enter. You see,
Plus
are you getting a screen like this?
Yes.
We need to do, right?
Yeah. Just do yum install HTTPD, and then this page will come. Please let me know once you get this.
Yes.
Dharma.
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
perfect. So it says installing HTTPD, installing dependencies. So whenever you are installing any package in Linux machine, right, it will also install whatever dependencies are there related to that package. So that is the benefit of this yum, right? So this yum, right, it will install all the dependent packages also automatically. It will resolve the dependency and it will install all of them. So you don't have to worry about. Right. So if you don't use this, we just use RPM command to install, right? Then what will happen? Then you have to install all the dependencies one by one, and it will be very difficult to resolve it. So this yum is a good tool. Now you just have to say yes, Y. Say Y and press enter.
Yeah, again installing some more.
Okay.
So now we are installing in the Linux machine, right?
Yeah, this is how we install any package in Linux machine. Now using this yum, right, on the Red Hat, right? So like this we install. So this will not work on SUSE. This is for Red Hat. Okay. So using this yum, what we have done, we have installed that package that install that Apache HTTP. Now understand the steps. First step is to install the software. Then the step would be to run the software, right? Correct?
Yeah.
So there is command system ctl. Just type systemctl. Then say status, right? HTTPD dot service. This is the command to see the status of a service, whether it is running or not. So I just said systemctl status HTTPD dot service, and it says HTTPD dot service, the Apache HTTP server, right? Go on mute.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it says active, inactive, dead, right? Docs, something. So it is not running, right? It is not running. So what should be the command to run it? So just think and tell me. Systemctl, and here you have the service name. In between it is status.
Start.
What? Yeah. So just in place of that status, you just say start and then press enter. Nothing came. That means everything is good. It started. You just say status again, and then what does it say? Active and running. Systemctl status if you run one more time. So you want to run the command that you ran previously, right? You can use up arrow, like that. Whatever commands you ran, that will come in up arrow. Okay, or you can just type history. Just type history command, it will be shown there, whatever commands you are running.
All server starting.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed Harish. So how to start that active? Start HTTP, right?
In place of systemctl status you have done earlier.
Yeah.
You just have to say start. So systemctl start.
For me, it is showing some log files. I don't know. Log file it is showing.
Did you run that systemctl start http.service?
Yes.
Now you just run this one, systemctl status http.service. Again you run the status command.
I think you can hear some noise, right? So it is showing lines 1-4/4 end something. It is showing. I don't know what happened.
Did you run this installation?
Yeah.
After installation,
I cannot perform anything.
are you root?
Yeah.
And you are not able to run anything?
No.
That means your session is getting disconnected.
Let me share my screen so that
some network glitch maybe Natras. Just just run ls command or something. Is it working?
No, log file it is showing.
Okay, I got it. Just press Control C.
Control C. Okay.
Now what? Now you got the command prompt back.
Yeah.
Right. So see, this is the command prompt. So
Anaconda ks.sh is original.
That is the file. That is the files. That is the file name. So that is like the installer will create that configuration file for installation, automatic installation of, say like you want same thing to be installed on multiple system. No, so that is those are the files. So don't worry about that. Just say clear your screen.
Yeah.
Now you type systemctl status, right? httpd.service. Just type like that.
Systemctl status
httpd.service. And press enter.
Service. Yeah.
Is it showing as active and running?
For me it's inactive.
Okay. Yeah. Now what you do, you just run now in place of that status. Just do up arrow 2 times. It will show you systemctl status http.service. When this command comes, then you go there with back arrow, that arrow, and then edit it. Just say start in place of that. So it will be systemctl start httpd.service. This command you run. Are you getting command like this?
Yes.
Now, again you have to run that. Go up arrow. Choose this command, systemctl status httpd.service, and press enter.
Okay.
What does it say?
Now it is active, running.
What about you, Dharma?
Yes, for me the service started.
Perfect. So the service
the
is
same screen what you're showing.
Same screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. So this particular service is running and listening on which port?
80.
Correct. Listening on port number 80. So that is the web service. This is the port on which it should listen. HTTP port 80. Correct?
Yeah.
So it is listening on port number 80. Right? So that means our web service is running. Got it?
Yeah.
So if our web service is running, that means if I take that public IP, right? What should happen here? I have that public IP, right? So that is
Yes.
already copied. I take name or IP or something. If I just copy this IP and if I go to this page and there if I say Control V and press enter, right? What is happening? Is something coming?
Yep. Something it is connecting.
Anything didn't come, bro. See?
No, didn't come anything, but
Why?
because
Site cannot be reached. My public IP is not reachable.
yeah,
Why?
because this is ISP provided.
No. This is public IP of your instance.
Yes.
This is instance IP.
That is instance public IP, right?
Yes.
Here it is. That is EC2 instance, AWS EC2 instance IP address, right?
Yes.
This is public IP. And some web service also running now, right?
Yeah.
But you don't see that here. It is not reachable. What is happening? Tell me. Think. It is written in the front.
Firewall.
Yeah. What is the firewall in EC2?
We have SSH.
We have
Red
Firewall.
Hat. Yeah, firewall. Yeah.
What is firewall? There in EC2 instance. What is the name?
Red Hat SG.
No. What is the name of what do we call firewall in EC2 terms?
Security group.
Correct. So we have. Did we allow in the security group anything for
No,
port number
no.
80?
No.
We should allow port 80, right?
Yes.
So let's go to EC2 instance. So Dharma, you're following, right?
Yes, yes.
So if EC2 instance, right, is only allowed here to be accessed by port number 22. Go to security tab.
Yes.
Go to the security group. You see only port 22 is allowed.
Yes.
And this is working on port number 80, right?
80. Yeah, correct.
How we can access? We cannot access, right?
Yes.
So we come here and click on edit inbound rule. We click on add rule. Custom TCP here. We have to choose HTTP, right?
Yeah.
So it says HTTP, right? Port number 80, correct? Here custom,
Custom.
right? Here we can say anywhere, correct?
Yeah.
I can say anywhere means anybody in the world can access it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct? If I say
Yes.
my IP, only I can access my website, right?
Yeah.
So if I say anywhere means anybody can access my website, right? So if I just allow everyone, okay? Now I just say, no? My website access to the world, right? So my website access to the world. So I'm allowing everyone, right, on port number 80 for my server, right? Now I say save rules.
So what about the other things, sir? It's SSH is changed to custom now.
Yeah, that will change. Not an issue. You have chosen
But
anywhere, right?
No. But the other SSH is the first rule. It was changed to custom. It was not my IP, right? So we need to change it again.
No. You just leave it. You have already added, right? My IP. That's okay. You don't have to do anything. It will not change anything automatically. It will just show you as custom, but that is your IP only. No worries. See, it will be like that. That's why you are worried about the security group. Here it is. When you come here and you just go to edit inbound rule, here it is shown as custom. That is your worry, right? 22 custom. Don't worry. Custom means your IP only here, right? You have not done any modification. You have not touched this 22, right?
No, we didn't touch. We touch. We touch before we connect.
Leave it. You don't touch it. Leave it. This is your IP only. Here there will that dot or something 3 or something will be there. So that is your IP. Now this HTTP, whatever you added, so that will get added and it will be visible like this custom something whatever. Just you have added your port 80 one time and it is showing as 2 times, right? So that is for IPv4. This is for IPv6. It will be shown like this if you come again. So don't worry about all those. Simply just leave
Yeah,
it.
now I thought you had only one, now it is displaying two. So I thought of adding one more.
No, that is enough. Now
Okay.
you come and browse your public IP.
Can I say the rule?
You see what happened. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Please let me know if you are getting this particular page. Test page.
Red Hat Enterprise Linux test page.
You got Dharma, please confirm.
Yes, I'm getting the same page.
Perfect. So this is the test page, right? By default, right? Because you have not kept your website there, right?
Yes.
So your website is not there, but your web service is available now. Your web service is running now, correct?
Yes.
You go to this command prompt, and if you say systemctl, right? And if you say stop,
it will stop
httpd.service. And then if you see the status, it will show as dead, right? Just do this. Stop. Just run stop.
I cannot enter. I cannot type anything in the putty. I don't know what inactivity is showing.
So your putty got disconnected.
Yeah, for me it says network error. Software caused connection abort.
Correct. So your putty got disconnected.
Yeah. So
when your internet is having little bit of error, then it will disconnect. Then what you have to do, you know it, right?
I have to close and I have to open it.
Yeah, cross that one. If it is inactive, cross it. Come here, select that profile, load it, click open.
Okay. Yeah.
So now this time what you can do, right? You can use that, in place of this, you can come here. You can come to this data, right? First you come to this session, you can load it. After it is loaded, then you come to this data. In data, you just carefully type EC2-user. And then you come back to session again and save one more time. Now what will happen, you see, if I click on open, it will simply log in. Saw it?
Yep. So I have to press root.
Yeah.
Sudo su.
Yes. So that also you can do, right?
Yeah.
So you'll have option for that also here only somewhere. So that also you can automate later. Okay. I have some options. I'll show you later. Can't recall, somewhere this option will be there for you, right? So you can change that option also. Once you log in now, you can run some commands.
Okay.
Right, so that we can do it. Now, so you are logged into that system, right?
Yeah.
So I am logged in on another terminal. So you just see, you stopped?
Not yet.
Okay, stop it. Run systemctl. Then in place of status, you say stop.
Stop. httpd.service.
Dharma, you also do this.
Yeah, I have entered, but it didn't come anything. It didn't show anything.
No, it will not show anything.
Okay.
If it doesn't show anything, means everything is good in Linux. See, if it shows, means there is problem.
Okay, so yeah, now this site cannot be reached.
Yeah, you got it. Now you just go here and try to reload it.
Yeah.
So what will happen to the test page? It will not come.
Yeah.
Why?
Because we stopped the service.
Yeah, you stopped the service. No one is listening.
Yeah.
So if someone doesn't listen, then
Harish, just give me a second. I think Dharma is rejoining now.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Dharma.
Yeah, Dharma.
I don't know what happened. It's frequently disconnecting.
Yeah, so looks like some network disconnection, but no, you just you see this demo, right, about the stopping of the service. So what I want to tell is, if your service is running here, then only you can reach your service. Got it?
Yeah.
So if your web service, if your Apache service is running here, then we were able to access it. But we stopped it. We said systemctl stop httpd.service. Now I see the status, my service is not running. When it is not running, the service is not accessible. It says refuse to connect because nobody is listening. There is a nobody is listening on port 80. Then how it will connect? Even if the firewall is allowed, right? Nobody is listening. It cannot be reached. So one thing was firewall. Because of firewall, we were not able to reach. We gave the permission in the firewall, right? Still it is not reachable, right? Because the service is not running. As soon as I start the service, I just come here, I say start, right?
Yeah.
Now I just clear my screen. I just say systemctl status http.service. So it says active and running. So my service is running, and I come to my website, right? I just try to refresh, and the service is listening to, right, the request, that 80 port, it is listening. Understood? Now the next thing would be to put something there, right? Some kind of website there, right? So
actually now this is not running for me.
You just do systemctl start.
Actually, that putty was it was inactive. It's abruptly stopped. So
You reconnected, right?
I didn't reconnect actually. I just click duplicate session and opened it. So
Good.
it's not. But that still, when I say I went to root user, then when I see systemctl status httpd the service, then it says the service could not be found. Then when I try to start it, right, when I use start, right, it says failed to start httpd service.
Okay. Okay, so maybe you can share your screen, Dharma. I'll just make you host. So no.
Stop the recording.
No problem. I'll just make you host, and you can start sharing your screen.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect. So you see systemctl.
Enter the wrong HTTP.
HTTPD you have done. Yeah, HTTP you have to do. Yeah, that's it. Okay, now you say status.
Connected now.
Status. Yeah. Running, right?
Yeah.
So it is perfect. So now you go to the website. Yeah, here you can just say enter. You see this service, because of that service, this particular page has come. Now you go to the terminal.
Stop, right?
No need to stop. Don't stop the service. Now we will run our website here. So just write clear. Yeah, enter. Yeah. So we'll be using your this session here, right? And we will do that. So not an issue. Now you cd to where www html. cd to where www html slash. Yeah, correct only. cd slash where. Slash var, yeah.
Var.
V for var. variable.
Uh,
And see, this is the directory in Linux where all the logs and all those things will be there, and any changing data. So we'll have one directory called where then you say www slash no dot slash HTML yeah, enter. PWD you do, yeah. So you are in this directory, nothing is there, right? So this is the location which is by default mentioned in the service, web service. So whatever you put, no, that web page by default index.html will be kept there. So you put here that index.html we have to create. So you just say vi index.html. Enter. Now you press I. Now we will you have that code, whatever early rise code was there, open in a notepad, copy paste there. Nataraj, you are following, right? Nataraj, yeah, you saved it, right?
I'm following. Sorry, I just on mute. I'm talking.
No
Okay.
problem. So no need to check. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, enter. Enter. Perfect. You press Q. That's it.
So 1 second, Harish.
You can
I
press Q.
have opened that index.html.
Yeah.
So what I have to do?
In index.html. So again you show it, Dharma. So just open that vi index.html.
Okay.
Dharma will show you. You can go, no, Dharma, you can just open that one more time.
yeah, this one.
Your screen, I think, is not visible.
The old file which we use for Windows machine, right? Windows is it copy and paste it in there.
We need to copy and paste.
Wait one second. So I think it's good. So now you just wait 1 second. I'll tell you, Nataraj. So now you just go to the website, Dharma.
Yeah.
Leave it.
I hope he
Dharma.
already saved in his machine now, no?
Actually, no, he has to type that I button to insert and all, no? He may not be familiar
What
with
about now?
VI. He may not be familiar with VI. I'll guide him. So you go to website first, Dharma. Go to website. Your website is running. Just see. Yeah. You see, the website is running for Dharma now, right? So now, Dharma, you can just keep the session. You can make me host.
Stop sharing.
Stop sharing and make me host. Okay.
Dharma,
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. So
yeah, I stopped it.
Okay, perfect. So
yeah, you can take.
Okay, sure. So here, what you have to do, Nataraj, here you are in this. You have to go to CD. Where?
Yeah, you can take it.
Yeah, I have taken the session. You can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see.
Dharma, you can see.
Hello.
Dharma, you can see my screen. Dharma.
I stopped it already.
No, you can see my screen.
For me,
Nataraj, you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see. For me, it came insert like that.
No, you can see my screen.
It's a black screen.
Yep.
So, I can see.
Yeah, so just follow this. You have to say index.
Yeah, it's showing black. Yeah.
HTML. Okay. Press I. It will show insert. You are here till here, Nataraj?
Yes. Correct.
Perfect. Now, no, as no Dharma suggested, right? So what we should do? We go and take that no index.html, some file is there.
Yes.
Right click, open that in a notepad or something.
Yes.
Okay. Now copy this.
Okay. Just a second.
Yeah.
Open with notepad.
Copy. Okay. Close this. Close this. Come here. Right click.
One second. Harish, I cannot. Just give me a second, please.
Sure. You can also share your screen. I'll help you out.
Okay. No, actually, I cannot open through that notepad.
Don't worry. I can
just
help
changed
you
it.
out. You can share your screen.
Yeah, I copied now. Okay.
You copied. Then do right click here.
Okay.
Then it will come.
Right click. Okay.
This
Yeah.
file, this content came in this file.
Yes.
Now here you do escape button.
Escape button. Okay.
Escape. Then colon.
Okay.
Colon. Then
Okay.
WQ.
WQ. Okay.
Enter.
Yeah.
You got your command prompt back?
Yes.
Perfect. Now here you just go to this website and here press enter.
Okay.
What happened?
Yeah, early rise. Welcome
Came
to
right.
Rise.
Came right. So you have put the home page right for your website, correct?
Yes.
Now you have the content displayed here on the website. Any doubt?
No doubt.
Understood the entire process?
Yes.
Correct, no?
Yes.
Tell me, Natras.
Yes, Harish, I got it.
Oh, Dharma got disconnected.
Yeah.
So for Dharma, like no, he it already ran. He
Yeah.
ran that website, so it is good for him also, right? So I think he has got disconnected. He could not hear the sound that time. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes. I'll just pause the recording for a while. So our website is running, right? So once we started our service, our website started working, right? So we can make our website persistent, right? Just by seeing, right, system ctl. Let's use this command, system ctl.
Just give me a second, Harish, because my putty got disconnected.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Connect, yeah.
Okay. Yes, Harish, can I ask how to connect again to this root? Sudo s. Hello?
How to connect to what?
Root.
Okay, so you are already there on EC2 prompt, right?
Yes.
Okay, that you have to just say sudo.
Yes.
Then su. Then dash.
Okay. Yeah. Now
became
I'm
root.
on. Yes.
Yeah. So now you just type this command, whatever I have typed here.
CTL is active http .service. Yeah, activity is active now.
So it is active. Now you just do up arrow, and in place of active, you say enabled. What does it say?
Disabled.
So our service is active, however it is disabled, means whenever your system restarts, this service will not start automatically. Understood? So
Yeah.
if you enable it, right, you just say systemctl enable httpd.service. So it will just create a symboling and then it will just make it available across the reboot. So whenever system reboots, right, again your system will automatically start. So it is enabled. Now you again say is enabled, it will say enabled.
It is showing unknown operation enabled.
Enable you have to say enable. No D.
Okay.
Yeah. Systemctl enable. You want to enable, right?
Yeah.
So
Sir.
you say enable.
Yeah. It is working. Yeah, correct.
So now you say systemctl is enabled, right? So now it will tell, yes, it is enabled.
Sir, I joined back, sir. Very sorry.
Yeah,
Okay,
enabled.
no problem. No problem. So we are good, Dharma, with this website thing, right? So just I asked to re-enable the service because the service is started, but it is not enabled across the reboot. Okay. So if you use this command, systemctl enable httpd.service, then it will enable it. So it will say, you just check systemctl is enabled httpd.service, then it will say it is enabled. Enabled means, right, restart your machine. You can go and meet. So when you restart this machine, your service will start automatically. Got it? So this is like, otherwise if it is disabled, see earlier it was disabled, it was active, but I checked it was disabled. So when it was disabled, that time if you restart your machine, the service will not start automatically. When you enable it using this command, what will happen? It will be starting automatically. Whenever your system restarts, then it will be starting automatically. So I'll just these commands, I'll just share with you. Give me a notepad. I'll just edit it, whatever is useful here. So status start, status history, status start, status stop, status start. Okay, fine. I think this is good. I'll just share it on the chat. Is it coming?
Yeah, let me copy it.
Okay, you can take this commands. So whatever we have run, so that is this much. Okay, so we move on to the next topic, right? So host your website inside ACP.
Sir, actually I have some clarifications here.
Please tell me.
No, actually what we did for the Windows EC2 launch, right? We created a security group and the same thing we did for EC2 Linux launch, right? Same security group, like we added a MyIP, then we are able to connect via PuTTY that through the security group. But for accessing the website, we added the custom IP into that security group. So that's okay. But we created something like EFS, right? So that EFS we attached to that security group. So I am a little confused on that part.
So EFS we have not yet done actually. So let's do that.
But EFS, I think we have attached to that Red Hat Linux security group, right? Yesterday.
Correct. So that we need to see. Let's see that. So website part is done. So we will see that EFS thing. Let's see that EFS. Create EFS. This is here. Launch EC2 RHL instance. Create this is done, right? Access that mount and unmount. So that part is, I think, here it is.
No, EFS we created, you say like that?
Correct. We created EFS. We have that hands-on mount, unmount EFS, right? So You want us
No,
me to
sir.
do this now? I can show you now only. Okay. You just see now only.
No. You say we created EFS, so I didn't get. We created EFS.
No. We created EFS security group. Still now.
No.
Yeah,
We
security
created
group.
EFS also. Hold on. I'll just show you. Wait 1 second. Just run this dff-ht.
Okay.
Just run that command. That's a good point, Dharma. So actually I had kept it in the next slide. You see here. After this hands-on,
Okay.
right? Create EFS, launch EC2, right? Connect to this RHEL and then launch your website. Then I had some other concepts and then I had some hands-on, right? So it was at a later part doing that EFS thing. After this, no, we had it later, but I'll just show you now only. You see here, EFS hands-on, 89th slide, mount unmount EFS file system. So you just do df-ht. I'll just show you. This is better now to discuss here. So df-ht.
Wait, sir, it's not. The putty is not working. Maybe my security group gone.
Security group.
No, it's not connecting to me. So maybe I check my security group.
Okay. So it's not asking for username also, correct?
SSH. Yeah, it's not asking for username. Yes.
Okay, so that means
SSH.
yeah.
I changed the SSH to my IP. Save rule.
Yeah.
And then go to EC2 instances running. I suppose IP will be same IP.
Okay. Maybe you can share your screen.
Is okay. Let me try then.
Sure, yeah, please try.
Sir, this public IP is assigned by Amazon, right? For the EC2 instance, right? This will be always same.
That won't be always same.
Maybe every time when we connect, disconnect, that will change, right? So
no,
that time.
Every time we connect, disconnect, it will not change.
When we stop instance and start instance.
Yeah, when you stop your instance, it will change. Next time
now I'm
your
able to
system
connect.
starts, it will be a new IP.
Oh yeah. So that time, if you want to connect, put it, then again we need to copy paste the IP address, right?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, now I am into the root login. So yeah, please do it.
Perfect. So now you are in the root login. You just see this screen, right? Just run this command. Just run df-ht.
df-ht. Yeah, I'm getting something.
Okay. So do you see this line?
Hello? Yeah, FS 505.122.81.EFS AP South 1 Amazon AWS.com.
Do you remember something by looking at it?
EFS.
Do you remember something?
Yes.
Dharma?
But this is a security group, right? No?
No, Dharma.
But
just recall.
for me, it is not showing, Harish.
When you do df-ht, it is not showing for you.
That command is not showing. Yeah, that is not showing NFS.
For you, it is not showing. Because no, you have you did a problem with that security group, you remember?
Yes.
That's why. Okay, so we'll fix that out.
Okay.
Now for Dharma, you can see this, right?
Yeah, I can see that, but I couldn't recollect.
Okay, so I'll just remind you. When we started doing that installation of our ritual machine, right? So that before that, when we, initially when we started and created that security group, right? So that time we went to this AWS services, right? And here we went to search. We searched for services, and there we did EFS. We chose
We
EFS.
created a volume, right?
Not volume. We created EFS.
Yeah, okay.
You see here, this EFS we chose. You remember now?
Yes.
That was minimum was
You remember this?
like 6K IP and it can be elastic at any time.
Dharma, you are not audible. See, we were here, we went and we created a file system. We gave a name, right? Like that, we created this file system. So this file system elastic-fs-dec. This is the file system that we created, right? And then I had told you, right, that.
Right.
So this is the file system. This is elastic file system, right? So this is the file system that we created, right? And then I had shown you this. When we click on this attach, there will be some command, right? Like this something. So that was one thing. But while installing our Linux instance, we had chosen this file system. When we were launching the instance, right? We had chosen this file system, and then we had given a path in place of something, MNT something was coming. So we had chosen this particular path, EFS. Then I had shown you that no, in order to automate, like whatever thing we are doing, we can put this one. Anything we put here, that will come in the Yeah, am I audible, Dharma?
Yeah.
Natras, am I audible?
Yes.
But for Dharma, it looks like no.
Dharma is the exit.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll wait for one more minute.
Okay, Dharma. So, Natras, so you have this, just run df-ht, df space hyphen small h capital T hyphen.
Okay.
Before h, you put a hyphen also.
df hyphen.
No, space. See, df is the command and hyphen h capital T. So that those are the switches options, right? So when you do this, it is not showing any NFS file system attached here, right?
Yes.
However, now you just minimize this, go to that Amazon console, AWS console, you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go to EFS, click on EFS. Now in that EFS, click on file system. Yeah, so you have that file system created, right?
Yes.
Now you just click on that view details, click on that, click that, yeah. So here you have monitoring, tags, all those things, right?
Yes.
So you have this created, right?
Yes.
See ENI. So here available IP address network interface security groups. At the end you see the security group, right?
Yes.
What is that security group?
Elastic EFS security group.
EFS security group, right?
Yes.
So now you go to, this is already looking good. So now you go to this security group only.
Okay, we cannot go directly here, so we have to go from here.
Yeah, go through that security group. You can go to that VPC or through EC2, you can go. Security group is not a service. You will not find it here.
Okay.
Either you can go through VPC or you can go through EC2. Yeah. So you can go to that security. So you have that elastic file system thing, right?
Yeah.
So go to that. Yeah. So
Edit inbound rules.
Yeah, click on that. NFS, right? So
Yeah.
you have that created, right? So 2049 custom, right? So you have this correct one only, right? This is correct one only, right?
Yes.
So this is also looking good. Now you go to the server again, Putty session. Go to Putty. Yeah. So here you just do cat space /etc /fs tab. Yeah. Enter. Now you see here
Created by
the last line you see.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had not modified that. It was MNT FS1 for you. So you had not changed that. So I had changed that path. So my path is different. Yours is different. MNT FS only, that was by default. Now you just run mount space. You say double click that MNT FS FS1 above.
This one.
Above your arrow. Yeah, double click that. No, that, yeah. Right click.
Okay, sorry.
No, before that mount command is gone. Yeah, type that. MOU. Yeah. Enter.
It is done now.
Now you run df-h2. df space -h capital T, enter.
Yeah, it
now,
is.
do you have that? You have that?
Yes, EFS. 1 second.
Last line.
Yeah. It has mounted now.
So why it was not mounted earlier for you?
Even I don't have a clue, please.
No, you should have. See, your security group issue was there. You remember?
Yes.
So what you had done? Your Linux instance.
I have changed the inbound rule in the morning, right? I mean, 1 hour before. So it was.
Yeah, Dharma, you can go on mute. Dharma. Yeah. So see, just recall, you connected that Elastic File System Security Group to your Linux instance initially. Remember?
Yes.
So when your system booted up,
Yeah.
your system started completely. Up to that point, your security group was what?
It was
Elastic
NFS.
File System.
Yes, correct.
Now, in your Elastic File System, when you created your Elastic File System, what was the security group for your Elastic File System? Elastic File System Security Group, right?
Yes.
But for your Linux instance also, that was Elastic File System Security Group, right?
Yes.
Now, what was happening, right? And when you gave the permission, right, to allow that NFS thing, so that was allowed to what? That was allowed for Linux one, right?
Yes.
So what happened? There was no gap there, and for your NFS thing, your 22 was not allowed initially, right?
Yes.
So we did modifications, and then we disconnected that Elastic File System thing, and then we connected the Linux thing there, right? So we did all those things. Then things became correct. Now that your EFS will be accessible from the Linux machine, just because now you have the correct security group attached, correct?
Yes.
So when your system booted, that time that security group was not correct. Now you corrected it.
Yes.
So we don't have to modify anything in our security group. Just now we validated, but we didn't modify anything, right?
Yes.
What we did, simply we have done this. Now, next time you restart your machine, what will happen?
It will come default.
Automatically it will come.
Yeah.
Right? So this will get mounted. So how we have mounted? Using this particular command. Yeah. And then you just do like cd.
Okay.
Just do cd space /mnt/efs/fs1.
Sorry, cd space /
give that path of your file system. that MNT, EFS, FS1, you can see somewhere? Where you see the mount point? No, in that file also you can see, no?
Yeah,
Where?
this one.
Yep, just copy that. Same thing, right? Just paste it. Double slash came in the beginning. Yeah. So that is the path, that is the directory where you have mounted your NFS file system. Press enter. Yeah. Do LSFNL.
Yes.
Just done LSFNL.
FSL, right?
No, ls hyphen L. ls space
L.
hyphen. ls space hyphen L. Enter. Yeah. So nothing is there, right?
Nothing is there. Yes.
You can simply, create some file here. So just say vi and give your name .txt. Enter. Press I. Just type your name. Escape : WQ. Enter. Escape : WQ. Enter.
Escape.
Escape button. Then colon. Double dot. Escape.
Okay.
Escape button that in the keyboard.
Yes, I did.
Then colon.
Okay.
Colon will come with shift. Double dot will come. It is not visible in your screen.
Okay. Escape.
Yeah. Now WQ. Enter. Now you do cat space nataraj.txt. Tab will work. Just run tab, then it will complete the command line. Enter. See, one J is missing.
Yes.
So that got deleted while you were running some button, no?
Okay.
Yeah. So not an issue. Now you do LSFNL. Enter. See, one file came, right?
Yes.
So where is that file?
It is in EFS. Sorry.
Correct.
In the
it is in EFS file system.
Yes.
Now you do CD space ... Enter. PWD. Print working directory. Yeah. Enter. So you are in MNT EFS. Now you do CD. Simply say CD and enter. CD. Change directory. CD. Enter. Enter. Now you do PWD. Enter. Yeah. So you are in /root. Right. So now you saw, just now you saw that in your FS1, that file system, you have created one file called nataraj.txt, right?
Yes.
Now you do umount space /mnt /efs /fs1. That is the mount point in which your file system is mounted. You press enter. Now you do df-h, df-ht, small h. Now that file system gone, right?
Yes.
Now you do cd space and then give the same path, copy paste. MNT, EFS, FS1, that path, not that umount, only the path. Yeah. Enter. Do LSFNL. Where is that file?
File is gone.
Why?
We
unmounted. Yeah.
Unmounted.
We unmounted the file system. That file system was a shared file system. That was a network file system, right?
Yes.
So that we unmounted, right? So that this particular file system can be mounted from different machines. It can be unmounted, mounted, like that. So mounting means
this is kind of danger, right? So if say this is only one file, that's fine. But if we maintain a lot of, a lot of GBs or TBs, terabytes. So if we unmount means it will vanish everything, right?
No, it will not vanish. Wait one second. I'll show you. Now you do mount.
Okay.
Wait 1 second. Just run CD. You cannot be here. Just CD, enter. Now you say mount space. Put that file system path, same name.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. Clear your screen. Yeah. Mount space / mnt. Do tab, run tab. No. You typed
Okay.
correctly. Now you press tab key in your keyboard. Tab, press tab 2 times. Yeah, press, yeah. Enter. Now you run that df. Enter. Yeah, small h capital D you can do. See, it came.
Yeah.
Now you cd to that directory. Use tab. Yep, enter. ls. You got your file back?
Yes.
Cat the content of the file.
Yes. Cat.
Yeah, your file name, nataraj.txt. Tab, use tab.
Okay.
Enter.
Yeah.
Content is there, same content you got it, right?
Yes.
So understand that this is the network file system which has independent existence. You can mount it, you can unmount it, data will remain there only.
Okay. I thought it will delete.
No.
Okay.
So that is the benefit. And then it's not like from only one machine you can access it. You can
Okay.
access from thousands of machines in parallel.
Okay.
Right? So this is a shared file system, right? So this is the benefit of NFS. So you understood how to mount, unmount?
Yes.
Okay. Dharma, please confirm now. Dharma.
Whether he's there or not.
Dharma is there.
Okay.
Dharma, please ping on the chat. Okay, so you can you can stop sharing. You can make me the host. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. So we are good, right?
Yes.
With this file
Yes.
system.
Yes.
Right. So this is how we do that use that EFS file system, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of network issue and a lot of things, right? So better we pause for today. We can take up next topics again, right?
With the same link, right? I mean that Zoom link.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So thanks. I'll just stop the recording.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.